live from Manager Bay.
According to the president, it was making good on campaign promise, protecting the country, utilizing a law that was in place that married an order from the previous administration. But the devil may be in the details, as the ban, which prompted protests across the country, was halted by a district court and then was, to the surprise of the administration, held up in an appeals court as well. They confirmed the ban on the ban. To break this whole travel ban down, Antjuan Seawright and Rich Bolen, good morning. Welcome back, gentlemen.
Glad to be here again.
Morning. Thank you.
Antjuan, talk to me about this ban. What is the deal with this travel ban on these 7 countries?
Sure. Well, I think we have to start off by calling it what it is. Okay. It is a Muslim ban. Mr. Trump campaigned on the fact that he wanted to ban Muslims in this country. It was the extreme right-meat, red-wing rhetoric that we heard that are getting a rouse out of his supporters, and he did what he campaigned on. He wanted to ban Muslims. It's so ironic that he wanted to do this, and we have not had a terrorist attack by a refugee or a green card holder on American soil since 9/11. And during 9/11, the people who attacked this country were not from the countries in which Mr. Trump has issued his ban. So I call it a spade a spade. It's a pure Muslim ban.
Rich, these countries were the ones that were outlined in President Obama's ban, were they not?
They were, and there was actually some good reasons to do it. Those countries, if you look at them, have serious problems in their home countries. It's Somalia, which is warlords. You got Libya, where we deposed Gaddafi, and it's chaos. Yemen, you got these places where we have no idea who's doing what there. They have no idea who's doing what. And they, as you recall, in Syria, they found or captured a passport machine and a supply of blank passports. So you take those to Yemen or Somalia, you start producing passports, and you have no way of knowing if they're legit or not. And so if they're terrorists and they're coming here with bad intent, we have no way of knowing. So it's easier just to say, just to be safe, nobody from those countries comes in.
But Rick, we have one of the strongest vetting processes, I think, probably throughout the world. It takes literally 2 years for someone, a refugee. We're not talking about criminals. We're not talking about terrorists. A refugee, mothers and daughters and sons who want to come to this country who are running away from war. It takes 2 years for them to even get into the process of getting to the United States. And these people don't come here with ill intent or ill will.
Yeah, well, tell that to the 9/11 bombers.
Well,
you can't. They're all dead because they blew up in a building.
None of those people who carried out 9/11 were from the countries issuing this ban. And it's ironic
that's where their passports were from.
It's so ironic the fact that these people, the countries who carried out 9/11, they are essentially countries who Mr. Trump does business with. They're left off the list. So I think that's kind of ironic. I think it's a big conflict of interest. If we're going to do this thing, do it the right way. That's why we've seen Republicans and Democrats say, wait a minute, let's back up. We cannot do this the way it's been done.
Okay, let me ask you this. And of course, when it came out last, it was a couple of Fridays ago now, it spawned, debates and, of course, protests all around. The White House, Sean Spicer, came out and said, hey, you know what? Out of the 260,000 immigrants who made it in the country yesterday, only 109 were stopped. But now those numbers, it turns out, maybe a tad askew. Talk to me about that.
Well, thank God for checks and balances. I'm so glad that a justice in Washington State decided to see this as wrong. We had a judge in New York who issued a temporary stay. This is Richard's wheelhouse because he's a lawyer. But I think that's the good part about America. We have checks and balances. I'm hopeful going forward. If Mr. Trump has the intention of making us safe, let's do this the right way. Vet the process, run it through the Senate, get legislation passed, sign it into law.
Well, I disagree with the judge's decision, the district court and the appeals court. What they're supposed to show is that there is irreparable harm that's going to happen to these people. But what's more likely is the irreparable harm will be if bad guys get through during this time that we're debating it, and they are able to effectively carry out their bad intent. The judge should have said, look, sure, you might get tied up over the weekend, but we're going to look at it in detail like they will this week. Because right now the appeals judge only said, I'm not going to undo the injunction. Mm-hmm. But after we have a chance to brief it and discuss it, I may undo it. And I think it will be undone.
But Rick, you had the vice president, you had a number of Senate leaders who say, look, the judge has a right to do that, so let's follow by the judge's order. And that's called checks and balances. That's one of the things that already makes America great.
I'm going to stop you right there. Of course, as the debate, of course, also into play as well with a potential Supreme Court nominee. The debate's going to go on and continue on. Gentlemen, Rich Bolen, I really appreciate your time, your thoughts. Antjuan, very good stuff as well. We'll put details for you at abccolumbia.com. We'd love for you to weigh in, too, on our Facebook page and our Twitter. Stay with us. We are not done yet.